Once upon a time, there was a man named Tim who lived in a small town. Tim was a simple man who worked hard as a delivery driver and lived a modest life. He lived in a small apartment with his wife and daughter, and although he wasn't wealthy, he had enough money to live a normal life and provide for his family. He was content with what he had and never gave much thought to money and wealth. However, one day, Tim received a phone call that changed his life forever. He had inherited a large sum of money from a distant relative he had never met. Tim was shocked and couldn't believe his luck. He had never thought about having a large amount of money, and now he had more than he could ever imagine. With his newfound wealth, Tim started to change. He became more confident and bold, and he started to believe that he could have anything he wanted. He bought expensive cars, designer clothes, and a luxurious mansion. He threw extravagant parties and surrounded himself with people who were envious of his wealth. Tim's behavior and attitude towards money were influenced by the psychology of wealth. He thought that having more money would solve all of his problems and bring him happiness and fulfillment. However, he was wrong. The more money he had, the more problems he faced. He became greedy and selfish, and he started to neglect his family. One day, Tim received a phone call from his financial advisor, who told him that his investments had taken a downturn, and he was in danger of losing all of his money. Tim was shocked and didn't know what to do. He had become so caught up in his wealth that he had ignored his financial situation. Tim's advisor suggested that he sell some of his assets to pay off his debts, but Tim was too proud to do that. He believed that he could turn things around and make more money. So, he took a risk and invested all of his remaining money into a new business venture. However, the business venture failed, and Tim lost all of his money. He was devastated and couldn't understand how he had lost everything so quickly. He was filled with regret and remorse, and he realized that his wealth had become the reason for his downfall. As Tim struggled with his financial situation, he became depressed and anxious. He lost touch with his family and friends, and he isolated himself from the world. He couldn't bear the thought of facing the people he had once called friends and facing the consequences of his actions. One day, Tim's wife found him dead in his mansion. He had taken his own life, unable to cope with the stress and pressure of his financial situation. His money had become the reason for his death, and he had lost everything that truly mattered in life. In the end, Tim's wife said, "Money can't buy happiness and fulfillment." Tim learned this lesson too late, and his wealth became the reason for his downfall. And so, Tim's story ended with a tragic twist, a cautionary tale of the dangers of wealth and the importance of having a healthy relationship with money. Tim's legacy was not one of wealth and success, but of regret and sadness. He had lost everything that truly mattered in life, and his money had become the reason for his death. From Tim's story, we learn several important lessons. 1. Money can't buy happiness. Tim believed that having more money would bring him happiness and fulfillment, but in reality, it only brought him stress and problems. Money can buy material things, but it can't buy true happiness and contentment. 2. Greed and selfishness can lead to downfall. Tim became greedy and selfish, neglecting his family and friends in the process. He was too focused on acquiring more wealth, which ultimately led to his downfall. 3. A healthy relationship with money is important. Tim had an unhealthy relationship with money, which led to his downfall. It's important to have a balanced and realistic view of money and understand that it is just a tool to provide for our needs and not a source of happiness and fulfillment. If we end up in a similar situation, we should. Number 1. Prioritize our relationships. Our relationships with our loved ones are more important than any amount of wealth. We should make sure that we are spending time with the people we care about and not neglecting them for money. 2. Be mindful of our spending. It's important to have a budget and be mindful of our spending. We should not spend more than we make and should be mindful of the long-term consequences of our financial decisions. 3. Seek professional help. If we find ourselves in financial trouble, it's important to seek professional help. A financial advisor can help us understand our situation and provide guidance on how to manage our finances. And finally, number 4. Take care of our mental health. Money can cause stress and anxiety, so it's important to take care of our mental health. We should engage in activities that bring us joy and fulfillment and seek help if needed. In conclusion, Tim's story is a cautionary tale that highlights the dangers of wealth and the importance of having a healthy relationship with money. We should strive to have a balanced and realistic view of money and understand that it is just a tool to provide for our needs and not a source of happiness and fulfillment.